Have you ever left a conversation and immediately started replaying every word in your head? Maybe it was a joke that sounded slightly off, a pause that felt too long, or a look you could not decode. Suddenly, your brain turns one normal interaction into a full investigation. You analyze your tone, your timing, your body language, and even the silence afterward. Hours later, the conversation is over, but your nervous system is still acting like it is happening. If this is you, you are not overly dramatic, and you are definitely not alone. This pattern is incredibly common among thoughtful, sensitive, and self-aware people. But that does not make it harmless, because constant social replay can quietly drain your confidence. It can make even simple conversations feel emotionally expensive. And over time, it teaches you to fear moments that should feel ordinary. What you are experiencing is often a mix of overthinking, self-monitoring, and social threat detection. In modern psychology, this can overlap with social anxiety, rejection, sensitivity, perfectionism, and rumination. In simple words, your brain keeps scanning the interaction for signs that something went wrong. It is trying to protect you from embarrassment, rejection, or disconnection. The problem is that once the conversation ends, there is usually nothing left to fix. But your mind does not care that the moment is over. It keeps asking whether you said too much, sounded weird, or came across the wrong way. That is the trap of post-conversation overthinking. It pretends to be reflection, but usually it is fear wearing the costume of self-awareness. You think you are reviewing the conversation to learn from it. In reality, you may be reviewing it to escape the discomfort of uncertainty. And uncertainty is something the anxious mind hates more than almost anything. One major reason this happens is something psychologists call the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect makes us believe other people are noticing us far more than they actually are. You remember your awkward sentence in perfect detail, while the other person may not even remember it happened. Your brain treats it like a headline, while their brain filed it as background noise. Another powerful factor is negativity bias. The mind naturally gives more weight to what felt uncomfortable than to what felt neutral or good. So 10 moments of connection get erased by one tiny pause or one strange expression. The entire conversation gets judged by its most uncertain second. This is why overthinkers rarely obsess over what went well with the same intensity. The mind becomes an unfair editor that cuts the warmth and zooms in on the flaws. Sometimes you are not remembering the conversation as it happened. You are remembering the conversation through the filter of your own fear. There is also a deeper emotional layer underneath all this. Many people who overthink conversations are not just afraid of sounding awkward. They are afraid of being misunderstood, disliked, dismissed, or emotionally exposed. So the replay is not really about words alone. It is about what those words might have meant for their social safety. If acceptance felt unstable in your past, even small interactions can start feeling like tests. Every conversation becomes something to pass instead of something to experience, and when the interaction ends, the internal review begins. This is especially common in people with social anxiety. Social anxiety does not always look like panic or avoiding everyone in the room. Sometimes it looks like being friendly, smiling, saying all the right things, and then mentally unraveling later. On the outside, you seem completely normal. On the inside, you are replaying eye contact, facial expressions, and every shift in tone. Rejection sensitivity can make this even more intense. A neutral response can feel personal when your brain is trained to scan for signs of disapproval. So after the conversation, your mind tries to decode everything before rejection has a chance to surprise you. Sometimes one delayed text, one dry reply, or one unread message can restart the entire spiral. Your brain starts connecting dots that may not even belong together. Perfectionism adds another layer of pressure. If you believe you must always sound intelligent, calm, funny, and likable, no conversation will ever feel safe. Real conversations are messy, spontaneous, and full of imperfect moments. Perfectionism expects a flawless performance in a place where no flawless performance exists, so normal human interaction starts feeling like failure. The hardest part is that overthinking can feel useful. It creates the illusion that you are preparing, improving, and preventing future mistakes. But most of the time, you are not solving a problem. You are rehearsing anxiety. Every replay teaches your brain that social moments are dangerous enough to require investigation. And the more often that happens, the more automatic the pattern becomes. This is why the habit can feel impossible to shut off. Your mind mistakes repetition for control. So how do you break it without forcing yourself to stop caring? The first step is to name what is happening in real time. Tell yourself that this is post-conversation anxiety, not a reliable report. That simple label creates distance between you and the spiral. The second step is to stop treating feelings like facts. Feeling embarrassed does not prove that you embarrassed yourself. Feeling uncertain does not prove that the other person judged you. Emotions are real, but their interpretation is not always accurate. The third step is to replace mind reading with probability. Most likely, the other person was focused on themselves, not conducting a secret analysis of you. Most people are too busy managing their own image to spend much time dissecting yours, and even if the moment was slightly awkward, awkward moments are part of being human, not proof of failure. The real goal is not to become socially perfect, but to become safe enough inside yourself that imperfection no longer feels catastrophic. So if you overthink every conversation after it ends, remember that you do not need a better script, you need a gentler relationship with your own mind. And if this felt painfully familiar, share it with someone who overthinks too. And subscribe for more modern psychology that helps you understand your mind.